any other type of coefficient out there. Once again, the goal is to get the variable terms on one side, constants on the other. So we still look at the coefficients, guys. Which of my two coefficients is smaller here? 1.6. So we're going to move this over to this side. Variables on one side, constants on the other. What's the opposite of a positive 1.6w?
Negative.
Negative. So we subtract 1.6w from both sides. When I do that, 3.6 minus 1.6 gives me, anybody? 2. So I have 2w is equal to, these cancel, 24. When I get to that point, I think everybody in this room knows what to do. You're dividing both sides by the, what is it? It starts with a C. The coefficient. And what is your coefficient here? 2. So I divide both sides by 2. And I get W equals 12. There's no fancy tricks here. The good thing is you have the aid of a TI-30XA, brought to you in part by our friends at Texas Instruments. Keep on working strong, people. And that will help you add or subtract the decimals. Any questions on the first one? We got 2 more. What's up?
I had to get 2.
3.6, calculator. What's 3.6 minus 1.6? Punch it in. What do you get? 3.6 minus 1.6 is 2. We're just subtracting decimals, that's it. Let's try another one here. So here, variable term constant. Same process though, as any other equation with variables on both sides. Melody, which coefficient is smaller? Negative 2.6. So we're going to move that over here. What's the inverse of a negative 2.6? Positive. So we add 2.6x to both sides. And you work from left to right. 3.4 plus 2.6 gives me 6. I have 6x. I bring down the negative 17 equals, that will cancel, positive 43. Oh, negative 17. Good catch. You go away. Negative 17. There we go. Okay, so now that we're here, we add 17 to both sides. Why do I add 17 to both sides, people?
That's your most coefficient.
No, that has nothing to do with this. This is a coefficient. This is a constant.
You have to leave it.
Why do I add 17 to both sides? Tell me why.
You have to get the.
Because I have to get the variable on one side and the constant on the other. I must isolate this variable term. So by adding 17, I'm removing this constant from the left side of the equation. I bring down the 6x, those will cancel, equals 43 plus 17 gives me 60. And then everybody in this room knows what to do. You divide both sides by the 6, which is the, what's the proper name? Coefficient. I divide both sides by 6, and I get x equals 10. Baby. All right, next one. Once again, we look at the coefficients. So, Amber, which coefficient is smaller?
2.25.
2.25. When you do this, be careful. Use your calculators to make sure that you're adding or subtracting these correctly. So the inverse of positive 225 is negative 0.225. We're going to subtract this from both sides. And you have to be careful when you do that to make sure that you get the right difference. Those cancel. I bring down the 5. 13.5 minus 2.25 gives me 11.25. Don't forget the t. Plus 14. Now that I've done that, I have all my variables on one side. I must get the constants on the other side. To do that, I got to get rid of this positive 14. So I subtract 14 from both sides, and I get negative 9 is equal to 11.25 t. And it's still the same process. We still have to get rid of the coefficient. So there's multiplication happening between 11.25 and the t. What's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So we're going to divide both sides of this equation by 11.25. 11.25. That will cancel. Then you need t. Over here, guys, what's 9 divided by 11.25?
0.8.
0.8, right?
Yeah.
So we got 0.8. If you do this correctly, 9 divided by 11.25 equals 0.8, but don't forget that's a negative, so it becomes negative 0.8. That is what t equals. Remember, this goes into your calculator first. 9 divided by 11.25. Don't forget that's negative. Any questions on this?